Now we're reading out another older review of Masque of Mandragora. This is from Michael Hickerson, slightly more recent, 14th of the 6th, 07. When I first saw Masque of Mandragora 20 plus years ago, I have to admit the resolution of the story confused me a bit. Part of it was the week before I hadn't set my tape long enough and I'd underrun taping Seeds of Doom, so I was suddenly vitally aware that Doctor Who stories could run up to 6 parts and was always on the lookout for the next 6-part story. This was pre-internet and before I'd found my copy of the program guide. So I have to admit, as I watched episode 4 and the scene shifted to Mandragora consuming the moon, I figured we were in for another 6-part story, because I had no idea how the Doctor could disperse the Helix energy and defeat the cult in just 6 minutes. I watched it all unfold, and when it wrapped up with the Doctor revealing he'd taken Hieronymus's place, I was a bit confused. But I was much younger than I am now, and figured I'd just missed something. 20 years later, I'm still looking for that something. Watching Masque again, I'm always impressed by how good the first 3 episodes are, but how rushed and disappointing the final episode turns out to be. The story is an interesting blend of historical drama with sci-fi elements. It's at its best when concentrating on the period elements, especially the court drama of Giuliani and his uncle. The struggle for power and the back and forth is nicely done over the course of the first 3 episodes. As usual, Doctor Who shines when it's recreating an historical period. The elements that don't work are the Helix Energy's plan and why it's chosen this time in history. The script tries to give us some idea as to why this time and place were chosen, but it never seems authentic. It feels almost forced at times, and like the writing staff couldn't find a good way to tie this whole thing together, so here's the best explanation we could come up with. And from a script editor of Robert Holmes' caliber, this gaping plot hole is too huge to overlook. Also, the 4th episode makes little sense in how the energy is defeated. The Doctor uses some wire to do what exactly? He uses the armor because he defeats Hieronymus, how exactly? And then the final scene of the energy, Like I said, a shame really, because before all of this, the story was quite good. It's interesting to see Masque as the start to what is arguably one of the greatest seasons in Who's run, and probably the greatest season by this production staff. The show is finding a stride here, and it's obvious in Mandragora. Looking back, this is the start of a ramp up to greatness the show will experience in the later stages of the season. It's not a stumble, but you can see the show slowly getting up to speed. So take for what it's worth, Masque is good but not great. It's worth seeing, and it's got the production crew working like a well-oiled machine. It's just the script itself that is lacking.